the replay. Right now, I'm going to show you how. Let me tell you how I won the battle of work-life balance. All right? I promise it's not what you think. I'm going to prove it to you the way I see it works. It can work for you. Let me show you. So, first thing we got to talk about is, what is work-life balance? I'm gonna just get you to tell me what you think it is in the comments. Right? I'm not gonna insult your intelligence on that. First, let's get the update on our viewership. Shout out to the public in the house. Okay. The viewership 21.4% female, holding strong, 78.6% males. Then we got a little drop in the subscribe viewership, actually a little increase rather in the unsubscribed viewership. So it went up to 61.6% of the views, and the updated is 38.4% subscribed. Let's see if we can get that to 50-50. Okay. Let's see if we can get that to 50-50. Subscribe, not subscribe, battling for the right to the 50-50 spot. Okay. And then we'll see who gets the closest. Well, not subscribe already got over 50, but what I need you to do is I need you to join. Anyway, join, subscribe, share, like, comment, all the good stuff. You know what it is. YNet7. Let's get into the topic today. How I won the battle. Work-life balance. It's not what you think. Let's get to it. How do you describe work? The best way I saw it described was with Alex Hormozi, right? He simply called it output. And when you think about it, it's genius because there's a lot of definitions for it that complicated it, what it is, what do you need to do it, what are you doing when you do it, how do you do it, what is work, what does it cost, all nine. Simply put, it's an output. Okay, so with that being said, right, if you see work as an output, now look at you going to work for a job. Okay, so now this concept that's got us so blown out of our minds being called work-life balance. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So if it's that bad that you have to balance it with life, it sounds like death to me. It sounds like death. Like, the only thing that you have to balance with life is death, right? I mean, I'm thinking that the opposites are what go on the scale of balance, right? So if you have to have a balance of work and life, it doesn't that by default mean that we're talking about opposites? Now, here's the question I have for you. How did the opposite of work, like in the sense of going to a job, how did the opposite of that become owning your own business? Because isn't that work too, if you let it be? Let's take a look, right? So work, mixing work and home, okay? Challenges to work-life balance number 1, right? You know I got the photos for you. Mixing work and home. How do you do that? Is it possible? to mix work and home. All right. So people work from home, and they say it can be hard to tell when work ends and home time begins, making it tough to stop working. They said they really found this out on a massive scale during the whole stay home pandemic. And they've said that the employers were rejoicing because productivity was skyrocketing. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I always said like I was not a fan of dress codes in the workplace. So I think a lot of people discovered that, hey, when they can just roll out of bed, hit that shower, throw on something they enjoy, feel comfortable in, get their cup of coffee, and just sit there and bang out work, I think they felt so good, so comfortable, not comfortable, yeah, comfortable, but so good, and was enjoying themselves in a process in a way that they never have before. For those that were disciplinedly adhering to uh, work dress codes, that might have been part of why productivity excelled. Roll out of bed during the stay home pandemic, hit the shower, throw on your comfy clothes, open your laptop, and you banging out work. You didn't have to fight no traffic. You didn't have to, all this stuff to get there. It was great feeling for a lot of people. They didn't never know that type of feeling before. So they said it makes it tough to stop working, and they might end up working longer hours and actually feeling more stressed, which I think that's subjective and it's personal. Some people are going to work longer hours because now they're home with their kids. And whereas they would have been stuck at work 9 to 5 plus commute time, isolated, focused on just work in a work environment, now little S dot spills a cup of whatever, you're going to stop the work and go tend to that in some cases. I'm just giving a hypothetical. Now, you realize you got out from work and went to go handle some family shit because you're at home. So you say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to take care of this. No worries. You're not counting it as a break. You're counting it as, let me take care of this family shit. Then you get a phone call. You handle a phone call. Next thing you know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour went by in some of these people's cases. So what they say is, you know what? No worries. I'm already home. I'm just going to get this much done. And if I got to stay, on the computer till 7 p.m., then cool. Even though they would have normally got off at 5 because they know they've had some interruptions throughout the day. So did they really work longer, or did they just work more congruently with their life? You know what I'm saying? So it's that age-old question of, if you have 100 blocks to move and you just plow through it, one after the other, that might be your 9 to 5. If you have 100 bricks to move and you have little interruptions in between and there, little distractions, then you might be 9 to 8. But you're comfortable because you're home in your PJs with your family. So the quality of work probably even went up because you were in that energy, that space, that as long as you're not like in a toxic, abusive home life, you could enjoy yourself and get your work done. Now, what they claim the opposite of that is, instead of going to work, it's owning your own business. But like I said, it's kind of interesting that how is the opposite of going to work at a job owning your own business when they're really quite similar, right? So now, if you look at it like that, when you own your own business, yeah, sure, you can pick when to work depending on your business. So this is why I always say to the public, blanket statements are really the quickest way to appear hypocritical in truth. You might be right in this moment, but there's a lot of the graph and chart where you're wrong. That means you're not being true. So you can't base life, well, some people base life off of untruths. We have to discipline ourselves to really focus and hone in on what is true and what is not true. So that's, especially when I see it develop and manifest and the envisions in emotional people, because they have emotional attachments to the variables of the equation, like a couple sections of the equation, but not the whole thing. So when something outside of their little vision happens, it sets them off emotionally because they don't realize that, yeah, you're right, but you're wrong. And they can't process that battle within themselves. But not to dive too far into that, let's keep going here, because I'm going to tell you what I found the opposite of work to be for me in application, and it solves everything. So when you have your own business, you can pick when you want to work. This means you can choose when you're going to take your breaks and have fun with your family, quote unquote, during the day. But sometimes it can be hard to stop working because your office is at home, just like with the workplace. Sometimes you having a business means you're going to work 187% more than you would if you were just an employee, because you got to do all this stuff by yourself and run and manage the business. You know what I mean? Like, look at me, for example. I'm competing. I'm in a level where I'm competing against agencies, and I do everything myself. So that means marketing. I got to market myself, create the promo, administer the promo, handle sales, right? Try to create leads, make sales, learn how to sell, because people are all different. Then all this other stuff too. Then when you finally get the clients, you got to do the work too. Is there enough time in a day? It's not a complaint. I actually enjoy it because I'm learning so much about myself, right? And so much more that I've learned about society, why I want to split from the masses, and why I'm also attracted to this critical mass, and why I'm building this critical mass. Like, it's so interesting to me. And the fun is learning how to is to perfect all of the components, right? Because that's what's going to take you from being, okay, I left work. Let's say you were making 100K to start a business that makes you 100K. So you're really just like, what did you do besides double the time that you're on the clock, but you're off the clock because you're calling it your own business? Monetarily, you're in the same bracket. What did you really do, right? But I think those disciplines in learning the execution factors and studying all the little nuances is what separates the $100,000 businesses from the $100 million brands. And that's what we need more of in our communities if we're going to be sustainable. We got to help get the mom and pops from being mom and pop looking businesses, still stressed about paying the electric bill. You know, when that report was out last year, 49, 46, whatever percent it was, small business owners, 60% in some cases almost, struggling to pay their rent, right? We need to change that dynamic, but it's going to take the community to understand what's at stake. That's what I've been trying. If there's one thing, I know you're new to the channel, some of you. If there's one thing you need to learn from me, is that we are at war. We at war. And I want you to make your business, your brand, the canon. But first you got to have the business or the brand. It's America versus the US. All right. And we need to ante up. All right. So let's keep looking here. Number 2, right, is too much work. Too much work. See? All these people in these songs. Work, 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 work. Rihanna got y'all all zoned out. Work, 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 work. Y'all up here. I'm work, 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 work. Right? How did that affect your life? Because then you be at the therapist talking about, I want work-life balance, and this is not conducive for me, and blah, blah, blah. But you was just work, 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 work. Right? Which one is it? Okay, output, work, great way to look at it. Because when I tell you what the opposite of that is, it's not your own business. So give me a minute, we're getting it. So too much work. Sometimes your boss asks for too much work. Y'all short staff. Or the staff just all decided to take break, left you on the line in the restaurant, by yourself. Now you up there handling 20 customers by yourself, stressed. Breathe, right? Because it can make you get really tired. It's going to create the PTSD. Your cortisol levels going to go up. Your blood pressure, your sugar, your diabetes, whatever the case is, it's going to mess you up. You're going to be burnt out, nervous system disorders, whatever. Okay? Because you're being bombarded by the work that should be done by more people that's missing. And then that makes you miss out on fun time with the family, because now you toxic and you turn what would have been fun time into nightmare. But you don't realize it's because you overwork. Or maybe you do, but you just don't realize you're being toxic because nobody taught you that part when you go home to your family or your friends. Now you're spreading disease and disorder. Now you the cancer. All because you don't really like your work. Right? So too much work. How do you I'm gonna tell you when you discover the difference, as I put it, it's gonna make all that go away. Right? It's gonna make those feelings go away. Because first of all, if you feel like you got too much work, why you ain't tell somebody? Why you ain't tell somebody? Yo, supervisor, look, here's the deal. Now, one of two things, one of a few things. Either you're gonna get somebody else over here to help with this shit, or maybe you okay with your home life balance, because that's not necessarily life balance, but your home life balance with your work. And maybe you like, look, I don't mind doing all this, but it ain't getting done in 8 hours. You're gonna have to pay me for 10, 11, 12. Or maybe you get it done in 8 hours, but you're gonna have to pay me an extra 40%. Like, why you ain't talking like that? Because y'all quick to make these demands to who? In your relationships outside of work. Well, you ain't meet me halfway in the relationship, so I don't know if this is working between us. That's why I be like looking at people in relationships. They be having the chick come in talking, or the dude comes, and then then what do? They go to the job and adhere to the same complaints they had about what you was asking them to do in your relationship or at home. Damn, Pasha getting a little. What gym work? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get toned up on y'all. Y'all better watch out. All right. So they go and do the same thing for the paycheck that they told you they couldn't do for you. Because they don't know what work is. Then what they do, they tell you, well, that's my job, that's different. No, it's the same thing. You put work in for them, you need to put work in here of some sort. Now, when you don't know what the truth is, and you start being emotionally attached to variables, it look different to you. Then you're gonna get mad because somebody sold out for a contract with some record label for $6 million advance, and you selling out for $19.95 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder why our communities, not races, not our race, but our communities, multiple, all of the different humanity, we don't have respect for each other. Even in the family units. Because you don't know what work is. And you're willing to do for this what you're not willing to do for that, and it makes you a hypocrite. And when someone demands the truth from you, when someone holds you accountable, you want to blame them for your feelings. Where was your feelings at when you defined the truth? Shout out to Hassan in the building, the Y-7 salute. Appreciate you, fam. Lots of support from you. So when that occurs, it makes you the hypocrite. Then you get mad when someone calls you on it. But then the opposite of having too much work at a job is supposed to be having control over your workload by owning your own business. Now I ask you this question. Is that true? And while we're on questions, here's the question of today. If you could create your own adventure story, what would it be about? What would it be about? If you could create your own adventure story, what would it be about? Hassan in the building. I appreciate you, man. Keep dropping them comments, sharing with the peoples, man, showing your support. This is what it's all about. When you can have people wanting the information, wanting to deliver it, wanting to receive it, appreciating it at 1:37 a.m. doing a live, that's quality. That's quality for you. You know you're getting quality. I appreciate you recognizing it and being willing to receive it. Let's get back to this. So, because it takes a certain individual to become the public, a member of the public here at YNET7. You have to have certain prerequisites. You have to have a certain quality. You have to be in a certain state of mind. So I appreciate each and every last one of you. Now, a business owner, you get to decide how much work you want to do, they tell you. Until your rent's due. Because then your rent decides how much work you better do. If I'm wrong, let me know. See, you can pick projects that make you happy when you own your own business. You don't have a boss telling you what to do. So you can pick the projects that make you happy and say no to the things you feel that are too hard. But the electric bill gonna let you know if you saw right. Right? But sometimes you might feel like you have to do everything by yourself, which can make you really tired. That's what they say. But I think going to a toxic workplace, being in an environment, being trapped in an environment you don't want to be in, doing a job that you don't want to do, might have you equally as tired, if not more. So if you're going to be tired, do you want to be tired for them with no change in sight? Or do you want to be at least on your way, on your own route, as my man D would say, on just staying directional? Right? I'm gonna put it as that. Because when you know the direction you want to go, you're able to use the stiff arm. I was making that comment earlier. You're able to use the stiff arm. Bam, bam. I'm going this way. Bam. If you was on my Facebook page, you would have saw me post a little earlier because I was having a conversation and I made the comment, and it was like, you have to be the Heisman for an entire season before you get the trophy. You have to put the work in. You have to already be, for a whole season, what you want to be known as before you get the trophy. So if you weren't already tired enough, then the thing they try to weigh out between what they call opposites of work and owning your own business, they try to hit you with the gaslighting of your family responsibilities, as if the economy didn't already mess that up enough, right? But it can be tricky, they say, to judge work and family. If family members have busy schedules, it can be hard to find time for both work and home activities. And that's what I've been telling people in the public the whole time. I said, I'll be looking at y'all and I learn from mine. If you get in a relationship, because see, a lot of this stuff is like, first of all, there's the remedies are endless, but at what cost? See, she make you feel good. He makes sure you're safe. Whatever the case is, the lights stay on. Y'all want to stay together, right? But if you picked a nurse practitioner working overnight shifts when you're a high school English teacher, Your schedules conflict, your focuses in life conflict, everything conflicts. And this is why, because of your choice of employments and careers, since we've been on the topic of careers the last few videos, has y'all actually in competition with each other. See, that's why you got to ask, hey, honey, what you doing this weekend? You want to go bowling? Because you're trying to find something to detox from the fucking fucked up ass week you had. So you want to go have a couple drinks, throw some balls down the lane, have a laugh, relax and unwind. Are you available? And then they come back with yes. Or if it's not yes, it's something that has to do with their job, career being in conflict or in competition with yours. Well, honey, you know I gotta do that thing on Monday, and I gotta study and build, or I gotta do this project for work. I gotta do ABCD. I was gonna use this weekend to do that. Or you know I gotta go see moms because you know haven't seen her all week because of job. Blah, 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 blah. It's always going back to that competition because you guys are not in harmony. You're in conflict. Meaning one of y'all's career is going this way. Put it over here. Other one's going this way. Y'all just keep banging hits. Not hit boards, but just hits. So the one opportunity from you guys having your own businesses, if you do it together, is at least y'all can be in alignment on your goals and directions. And then y'all can complement each other, work together, and basically that's how you create an inseparable union in my envisioning. Because then y'all guys can wake up together, your support system for each other the whole day through. You almost don't have to ever be apart instead of being like these couples you see talking about, boom, all right, I'm in the car, I'm on my way. God, I couldn't wait to get away from them. And now I'm out here having guys night, girls night, whatever y'all doing. Because I just couldn't wait to get away from who you say you wanted to be with. The fuck is that? Because y'all just, even if y'all not like physically arguing and fighting, you realize subconsciously that you guys are in so much conflict that you just want to get away. But you don't process it like that because a lot of the emotional people, again, are hanging on to that emotional attachments that they have, the variables that they cling to, not looking at the full equation. They don't see themselves in the mirror as being the problem. So supposedly, when you get your own business, you'll have the ability to prioritize family. Owning a business is supposed to let you be there for your family when they need help. You can change your work hours to fit family events, supposedly. But how can you do that depending on what kind of business you have? If you do pressure washing, yes, you could say, you know what, I'm not going to schedule on this date and blah, 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 blah. But if it's something that came up after you already locked in a client that's supposed to be giving you, I don't know, $2,000, $4,000, I don't know, dollars, do you call them and say, hey, JJ got a recital. Yeah, I know you booked 2 months in advance, but can I move that to another date? I know you was taking off of work so I can come out there and do the maintenance on your roof. But can we reschedule that? I mean, how do you feel when the cable guy is late when you move into your apartment? For those that got cable or the internet, right? They gotta come hook the internet up for you. Whatever the case might be. How you feel when they just 2 hours late? What do you think it's gonna do to your business to say, hey, you know that thing you scheduled 2 months ago? I know you like work-life balance and you want to see my family happy. I want to reschedule your wedding. I know I'm not just a photographer. I want to get the pictures for you, but I also gotta go take the pictures of little DD growing up. You see where I'm coming from? You feel me? No, we don't. Right? So that it's right, but it's wrong. Now, if you go from making, you know, $40 an hour at a job that you know don't like or whatever, and then you go out in the world, you become Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs wasn't there for his family. When you read the situation, because he was handcuffed by choice to Apple. But what he was able to do was fund everything that, you know, didn't, depending on who you talk to emotionally, it didn't make it right, but he took care of the situations. You can go where you want to go, but at what cost in life? If you build in an Apple to really make it Apple, even before we knew what Apple was, like think about it. These people started companies just like yours. They didn't realize they might have had the vision it could be, but they didn't know it was become a $1 trillion company. So it's like bull riding. I never rode a bull, but I've watched it on ESPN back in the day. It don't look like they expected it to. They know how to ride, but they didn't expect it to go left when it went left. They just know what to do when it go left. Like they didn't sit there and say, okay, he's gonna come out the box, he's gonna make a dip to the right, and then I'm gonna, you know, he's gonna bounce to the left, and then he's gonna do a 360. They didn't have that playbook. It ain't the NFL. There is no film. There is no watching film for bull riding. So when you get on the bull and it becomes like it wants to become $1 trillion company, you hanging on for the ride. I'm prepared for that experience. Like give me the trillion. Yes, let's go. Right? I've already paid all the costs, the debts, the family gone, right? Because they didn't like me anyway. The mental was not there. They wanted to put me in a mental hospital because I'm saying I'm American and not a United States citizen, right? You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. They don't want to help support what you're doing at all. But if you send them a Cash App, they'll gladly accept it, right? And cheers. But then if you need lunch money, they don't know you, right? So this is like, a lot of you guys are already being prepared for what needs to be done in our community. Stop feeling like you're at a loss for something, because it really truly could be what is holding you back from being on your own bull. Right? So it says, but if you're super busy with work, it might be hard to find time for the family. Well, if the family's causing you problems, it might be in your DNA like a Virgo. We have to solve the problem, or you gotta get rid of the problem. One way or another, that problem gotta go. Because you have to participate in being a problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not that people don't communicate, it's that people don't connect. They've been communicated to. You've done a lot of communicating with others, and they said, oh, I hear what you're saying, I get it, and then they went and did the same shit over and over again. The question is, how long are you going to appreciate that? Right? Because what is it doing to your life? Because the relationship is work. So if the relationship isn't working because members of the relationship party isn't putting in the required work, then where's your life balance? See, y'all just associate work life with job. Then you want to blame the men when they leave the household that the woman is making toxic, programming the kids to hate the man unless he can buy a new iPhone, right? Who want to come home to that? And vice versa. I'm not, ladies, don't get it twisted. I understand y'all be in some positions too, and the male is making it a fucked up experience. So y'all bounce. But what I'm pointing out to you is that this is what occurs when the work and life balance is out of balance, when you're working on your relationships. Now take it outside the house to the community. Dwell on that over some time for me. And if you're enjoying this content, drop $5 in the Cash App, right? For one patty at McDonald's, because I heard the Big Mac. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in years, actually in a couple years, but I heard one patty is, like a Happy Meal is like $17 now. So if you give me 5, I'll be able to get a third of a Big Mac. But I really want to try to eat some more fruits and vegetables, or I can make sure that the light stays on, so this side of my face lights up good for you, and show that wisdom in the beard, right, when we talking, right? So let's get back to it. All right. So where were we at? We were at the illusion of owning your own business is going to give you the ability to prioritize family. And if you don't have the right family to understand your priorities, may not be them, then you're gonna be out of balance, because they're gonna make sure you feel out of balance, purposely or not. Like, think about it. The woman that becomes the wife of a fireman knows the deal when they're married to a fireman. This is why you got shows of like Basketball Wives, because not that, I don't know, I didn't watch it, but what I'm getting at is, and obviously I'm not a woman, so, but what I'm saying is there's things that they deal with in their little sub society of NBA player relationships that the person working at Staples will never really comprehend. The person that's married or in a relationship with the chick that work at Staples, they'll never truly get to relate to what the Basketball Wives' life is like. You see what I'm saying? So, family responsibilities. Grass ain't greener on either side. Now, number 4, right? Always being available. When you got the job, in some jobs, there's a saying or a feeling that you have to always be ready. You might be on call. They might have told you up front, you're going to be on call Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So you at home paranoid like a motherfucker. Don't let you only have one phone, like not a separate work phone. You, every time your phone ring, you just hoping it ain't the job. Like, or maybe you hoping that it is a job because you get double time and a half on your off days on call-ins, whatever the case may be for you. But here we go with the schedule conflicts. Hey, honey, so and so it's little TT's birthday party this weekend. Are you gonna? Oh, yeah, we gonna do that. Well, let's stay close to home, or let's stay at home when we had the event, or do whatever we're gonna do because I'm gonna be on call. Or maybe you at work and ain't even gonna be there at all. But always being available can make people feel guilty if they take a break or need some time for themselves. How many people that have a job? If you with me this far, drop a 1 in the comments if you know someone at work that doesn't never want to take a vacation, use their PTO days because they're afraid they might miss something. And I don't mean like gossip wise. I mean, like, if they take a break, they know when they get back, it's going to be brutal because the work they would have got done that week is going to be piled up. Plus the work they got to do, let's say if they take a week off, plus that work. So now they would have to do 2 weeks worth of work, maybe 3 if it was a busy week within the same 1 week period. Actually, probably in the first 3 days because they're going to want it caught up as quick as possible. So they looking at it like, if I take a break, I'm going to get slammed every time I come back because I'm the only one that can do this. Or any variations like that. So they wind up like not using their PTO, not taking the day off. They're always available. I enjoyed being the first one at the plant, the last one to leave, because for me, my view was corporate America spends billions of dollars on knowledge and information while people are glorifying going to some institution and spending $30,000 to $200,000 on a degree that says somebody told them that they know something. So if I get in this company and I can learn what they know that's worth $20 million, and I can bring that home to the community in some fashion, oh man, that's exciting to me. I'm like Johnny Five from the Short Circuit movie back in the day. Input, need more input. And that is the word I want you to recall for the opposite of work. If work is defined as output, then input is the opposite, and input is creativity. But let me get to that in a moment. You know what I mean? Like, find joy in what you do. You know what I mean? You might be at a job when you're young because you smoke a lot. You know what I mean? You might be young, you might smoke a lot, and there might be a lot of people at your job that like to smoke too. And you might just happen to, right? So that may be what gives you work-life balance. But in all fairness, right? They say when you get your own job, as far as always being available, it's supposed to change something. Like, as your own boss, you're supposed to be able to make rules about when you'll work and when you'll take breaks. Okay. Is that true in the beginning when you first start in the business and you need every single dime that you can get? I would say yes. Because it's you that chooses to work 24 hours around the clock, pass out at the desk, 20 minutes, wake up, oh snap, I fell asleep, I dozed off. Okay, let me get back to it. Next time you close your eyes, you go for 2 hours. You slept 3.5 hours in the last 24, like that. but you're working 24 hours a day. So you feel like you're getting a strong 21 hours of work a day, where other people they're going to work for 8, and then they take an hour lunch. Or no, actually, they're cheating us. They're cheating society now. They tell you you're working 8 hours, but you're really there for 9, because they say they don't pay you for your lunch. So you goof off for 3 hours, so you're really working 5. Or you can put in 21 hours of work, which means that for every 1 day that person had, you're getting 4. So if they go to work for 20 days in a month at their pace, at their work ethic, they're getting 80 hours, right, of actual work a month. And if you're doing 21 hours at 20 hours, you're getting over 400 hours of work in the same month. So that's 2 weeks divided or compared to 10 weeks. So you might have willingly made the choice to say, I'm always available, because for every month they're going to get 2 hours of work done. They're going to get 2 weeks of work done. I'm going to get 10 weeks of work done. Which really means that shit, every 5 months you're doing a year. So in a year, that means that they've done 52 times 2. No, 12 times 2. They've even done 24 weeks worth of work in a year. I'm just making all this shit up to make the math make sense for you. Versus if you're doing 10 weeks every month, you're doing 120 weeks worth of work in a year. So for every year that goes by, they're getting 6 months worth of work done, and you're getting 2.5 years worth of work done. But Pasha, that's unsustainable. But yeah, if you do it for 2 years, that means you've got 5 years done while they just got 1 year worth of work done. It might be that 5 years worth of work had to be put in for you to get to the point where you can be like, okay, work-life balance is on the table now. How do I want to balance this shit out? I got time. Maybe there's money in the bank now. Maybe the projects are bigger. Maybe you've grown to the point where you have employees. Who knows? But you had to put in 5 years of work. So do you let it take you 5 years? Or are you doing 6 months worth of work every year? So that means it takes you 10 years? Or are you doing 10 weeks worth of work every month, which means you got 5 years worth of work done in 1 year and 11 months? That's personal decisions. And this is why if you don't have the right family around you, it's gonna fuck you up. Because they're not gonna share the vision if you don't have the right friends around you, if you don't have the right family in support of you. They're gonna be telling you, go get a job. Because they don't know that you trying to get 10 weeks worth of work done in a month. They just thinking that you want to stay home all day. Because that's their mindset. Because if they were home, they feel like they wouldn't be doing shit. So they assign that to you and judge you, and then the whole community suffers because you sitting there with a fucking 34 Wonderlic score, top 2% in the nation. And instead of you, the community saying, yo, bro, we got the shit right here. Let's look, let's feed you what you need. You want something to eat? You need what you need. You need a computer. You need what you need. You need upgrade. You need a car. No. Right? But then they go get the chick or the dude, right? And I'm not even knocking, because this is gonna be their temporary relationship that lasts for 2 years, and they invested in a car. Your sister done went and bought the husband the car. Your brother done went and bought the wife the car. Whatever. They done bought a house that they both got to go to work for to pay for, when they could have invested in you in a business that would have bought the whole family and estate. But no. They confusing you always wanting to be available and being the right person to be available with. You shouldn't want to stay home and not have to go to work and not want to have a job. You should be like everybody else, but you're not everybody else. That's why they rank you in the top 2%, because you're in the top 2%. Because when the corporate America gets you, they're going to say, oh, he in the top 2% or she in the top 2%. Give her this, put her there, give her these resources. Now have her go destroy the community so we can profit. But that's what you want. And then when they go making $250,000 a year, fucking up your life, you want to call them a sellout. But you never bought in to the alternatives. So being your own boss is supposed to make you make the rules about when you work, when you take your breaks. They say this can help you relax without feeling bad. But we know the word bad mean effeminate male. So, but it can also be hard not to check your work stuff all the time because you feel like you need to take care of everything. So yeah, the purpose is the grass isn't always greener. Now, number 5, and it's the last one on here, and then we're going to move on. We're going to make a little pivot. We're going to explain this work and the opposite shit, and then we'll close out. Not enough help. Sometimes companies don't give the support to help workers balance the jobs that they do have to begin with, and their personal lives suffer. We kind of, was on the cusp of this earlier in the video. So without things like flexible hours, check out the video we did breaking all this down, help for mental health, it can be hard for people to manage everything. So as if most people realize when they get their own business, they're going to be working more, harder, whatever, at least for a little while. Does that actually change or get worse? I mean, is the change better or worse when you start your own business? Because they want to sell it to you as the opposite of work is starting your own business, how great it's going to be, right? But when you run your own business, you can make a team of people who help you, but not until you get something that they want in trade, whether it's a paycheck or whatever, a car, you can stay in the garage, whatever it takes. You can, most people aren't just going to sit there and say, I'll work for free. Maybe I work for a discount, and then you sign the contract for 5% of the business. Right. Because that, so if you can't pay employees, you don't have employees. They say you can hire friends who want to help, who want to work with you and share your ideas. But at first, You might feel like you're all alone, and that can be tough. You damn right. All by myself. Right? Okay. So Pasha, what's this that you talking about? How you won the battle with work? It's easy. If work is output, see, first of all, let's address what the opposite of what we think work is would be real quick. Relaxing. Right? The opposite of work is relaxing, because see, if work is output, your output is defined for you. Think about this. Everywhere you have work to do, it's an output from you. It's a requirement of some sort that is normally not assigned by you. At your job, they tell you what your job description is. You have assignments. Basically, if we use another word, you have task assigned to you. You have to produce these results. You have to produce these results. Unless you like me and just go up and like, look, this ain't working like this. I think we need to change this. No, hold on. I look, I know people being here complaining all the time. I'm not complaining. I'm showcasing ROI value. I got this whole little report here that's going to show you why what I'm telling you we need to change is going to make total sense for you, and it'll support the business need. And I actually found out it will save us $27,000 a year. I'll be happy. I'll be enjoying myself because I don't have to deal with this bullshit. You're going to be happy because your company's going to be making $27,000 more dollars, and everybody's going to win. What the other's going to say? Look, I can't help that the other people didn't come here and tell you how they felt about the shit you got them doing. But at least I put this little $27,000 in here for you when I came here and told you I ain't doing it. And that's how you wind up doing engineering projects at a top 100 Fortune 500 company when you ain't got no engineering degree. All you got is a 34 Wonderlic score to say you in top 2%, because I adhere to the truth. And the truth is, I went to work a few too many days saying this some bullshit. And I was like, yo, ain't this some bullshit? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, what you think about it? It's some bullshit. Well, what you gonna do about it? Well, you know, we need that paycheck. What? You just gonna keep doing it? Man, look, I got a family. I got a kid. I got a daughter. I got this. I got a house. All right, I see where you at. Meanwhile, I'm in the office. Like, look, it's $27,000 for the business, and I'm gonna relax and put out high quality output over here in this part of the job description. But this section right here is bullshit. And if we change this and do that, you know, $27,000 profit for the company. Oh yeah, oh, you like that? Do I have any more ideas? You know what? Let me get back to you on that. Then now the coworkers mad at you, like society mad at you because you in there changing shit. How you do change shit? How did you do that? Well, I told y'all come with me, but when we was all standing together and we all had the opportunity to speak up together, y'all chose to remain silent, had me looking like the asshole who was the only one that had some what they gonna call complaints or venting or gripes. No, I'm telling you the truth though. You can call it what you want. But yeah, I was the only one that spoke up in that meeting, remember? So then when I come back with the supporting details, documenting my observations, because I'm true, you can't deny the truth. But y'all left me out there on the cutting block expecting my head to get chopped off, but instead, you come back with the crown because closed mouths don't get fed. Question is, what you try and eat? Bullshit? So you can get a new toy? So what's the opposite of work? If work is the output, as Alex describes it, and when you go to a job, your output is actually assigned to you, described for you before you get there, you have to produce that in particular. Then the opposite is input. It's your creativity. See, I didn't have output when I went to work. I had creativity. I produced input. Like, hold on. Wait a minute. Look, I don't think you realize, because you ain't been out there on the floor. I ain't seen you out there in mass production in 6 months. I don't think you know that this is what's, that this is what's fucked up out there. I don't think you know that. But let me tell you, look, and I put in this report and here this, that, I got input, I got ideas as to how we gonna improve this based off of my creativity. Because before I got here, you didn't have this idea today in your office, and you were transactional, thinking you were gonna keep sailing the ship the same way it's been sailing, and you would have done that for the next 10 years if my ass ain't coming here and tell you, fuck you, right? In a nice way with a check attached to it of your own money, right? Because I ain't paying for the shit. So my creativity provides input. So I'm not actually working, I'm creating. We just did the video on vision and envision. Vision is when you see something. Envision is when you manifest it. See, I saw this being where I wanted to come to work tomorrow, which would be the day after. I say, you know what? I should quit. But here's how I envision that happening, that I show up tomorrow. I manifested the work environment that I wanted to. Damn, these coworkers getting on my fucking nerves. You know what? I manifested having our own office with no degrees. I'm the only non-production worker with no degree. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, this is how I did it. This is how I won the battle everywhere I go. Sometimes you win the battle by being kicked out the workplace. You didn't realize you won at the moment. He's like, hold on. Nah, you just be like, all right, fuck y'all, I'm out, man. Mail your shit back to you. But you find out 6 months, 2 years down the road that it was the best thing that could have happened for you. But you got there because when you opened your mouth, it wasn't to suck a dick. It was to stand up for yourself and the people around you who appreciated it until they got rid of you, and then nobody stood up for your ass, right? But that's life. That's how it's gonna go. But you left with when you left, the culture was different for that workplace. It will forever be changed. Your work was done there. It was time for you to go and move on to your next exercise in the manifestation of the world. See, only you have power to do certain things. If you never allow yourself to unlock it in different places, then you're starving those other places who would have benefited from your execution. So I would like to see more people, because this is how I won the battle. I won the battle by telling these motherfuckers, look, no, this don't make sense. And then if you won some court cases, then you know how to prepare your arguments. Properly. Not the argument you see Shaniqua and Tiffany having in the street over Bahrain. So Bahrain. So anyway, the opposite of work, because I really like Alex's definition, is output. Then the opposite of work is creativity, which would be input. When you hold on, that one's getting stale. When you are when you're supposed to be doing work, right? You're supposed to be drawing, right? You're supposed to be drawing from the source, the ability to produce the output, but the output is assigned to you. It's a directive. When you are, because what they're telling you is that your job wants to produce 500 more microchips. I'm gonna give you a good job. 500 more microchips to output into the world as input to someone else's creativity. Right? Okay. When you use your creativity, you're now inputting something into the world that others will receive as output. Does that make sense? I know it sounds like WTF, but when you're creative, you're putting in you're investing. It's the difference between being an engineer in music and being a producer. If I go to the studio and I got my track from such and such beat maker, and I show up at the studio and they be like, yeah, what you got? MP3 or track outs? And I got the track outs to my beat, and they go in and line everything up. It should already be lined up, but line it up, meaning get their shit straight, ready to go, ready to record. They do the mic check, you go in there, record, and you tell them this is what I want you to do here, and chop this out there, and then do a little fade there, and what do you think? And then right here, do some of your little special magic sauce, and then boom, that's kind of what I want you to do. You just gave them the direction that everything needs to go, even to the area and precise point where they can have some creative input. You assign it to them. You assign the output of what you expect the song to be. So they're an engineer working to output your request. This is why some of them get the call like, hey, I don't like this and this and that and the other. Can you change this, do that? Because you're working to output what they have visioned in their mind with no idea and no ability in most cases to actually envision it themselves. So you already at a disadvantage. Versus being a producer where you're like telling the artist, yeah, this is my idea. This is what I want you to do here. This is the beat I want you to do it on. I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to stir the pot and then watch how it comes out. See, when you're the producer, it's your vision that you are envisioning it because you see it. You have the ability to produce it and manifest it using them as using their output in your project that you're going to input into the world as a piece of work. Don't call me back talking about you don't like it because you don't know what you're not liking because you didn't have the vision from the start. It was never your vision to like. Now go out there and sing the fucking song. And be happy, because the word happy comes from the word happen, which means lucky. In other words, you're lucky I picked you to be a part of it. That's not conceited. That's not cocky. That's not arrogant. That's truth. Don't call me talking about what you don't like. I didn't ask you. It's exactly what I wanted to be. That's the difference between the engineer and the producer. So now look at it like this. What's relaxing? It's the opposite of what you think work is, right? So the opposite of work can also mean relaxing. This, when you do things you enjoy, like playing games, reading, or resting, it's a time to supposedly have fun and not worry about work, right? But doing nothing is also known as idleness. And this is why certain people might think that you're being lazy. But this is like having a blank canvas. There's no work or output yet defined. I talk to people like, hey, what you doing this weekend? Just for conversation. You got plans? Sometimes they say what their plans are. Sometimes they say, nah, I don't got no plans. I'm like, that's the best fucking time. Because when you don't work on a schedule all week, and then your family got you scheduled all weekend, and or this part, you got to do this and go here and be that, and then you got to go shopping, and you got to put this, you got to be here by a certain time. Now your whole weekend scheduled, you don't get to really sit down and breathe till 6 p.m. on Sunday. And all you thinking about by that time is, fuck, I go back to work. So when you got plans, it's like you working. There you go again, because you got assigned outputs that may or may not have been totally decided by you. And then in the sub undertow, you working to maintain the relationship. So you might go places, some of y'all, that you don't really want to go, and you knew you didn't want to go and do it when they asked you, but you felt like you had to maintain or work on your relationship, so you couldn't be true to yourself to tell them no. So when they don't have no plans, I'm like, that's the best part, because you just free. You can wing it. If you don't want to do nothing, you can do nothing and recover and revitalize. And if you decide at the last, oh, I want to go do this or go do that, you can go do it. You don't have anywhere to be. You have a blank canvas. There's no work assigned yet. There's no output required. But it's the perfect time for your creativity, which is the input, to come. This is why people that are trapped in the slave mentality hate what they see you as being idle, and they got all these things negative to say about it, because what they really are disgusted by is your freedom to create, because they have been assigned. So you can think of new ideas and imagine what you want to do next. They got a schedule. They mad because they woke up saying, man, I don't feel like going to work today. And they went. And you woke up one day and said, I don't feel like going to work today. Matter of fact, I don't feel like going back to work ever. How am I going to pull this off? To both of y'all, you're living your best life. That's the irony. Right? So So that's doing nothing, because when you're just sitting around doing nothing, it's called idleness, and it means. But you could be relaxing, which is the opposite of work. Da, da, da. So like recharging your batteries. When you relax, you're not producing work, the output, but you are giving your mind a chance to rest and gather what? New ideas, creative ideas. You're generating input for when you're ready to go back to work. See, when you look at it this way, when you know the truth, it totally changes the energetic values in your nervous system. So taking a break, even if you just look at the 15-minute break they give you, sometimes when you're on break or off duty, you're not working, which means that you can take a little time to quote unquote relax, do what you like, right? Well, the pause is a pause in your work, your required output, the scheduled assignments you were meant to deliver minute by minute. So it's a time you can step back and look at what you've done. If you're creating something, if you want to, if you're that, or you can use the time period of your break for your creativity. What? Oh, your input to think of what you can do better. Now, what better might be is, hey, let me check on what wifey doing, because that's better than what the fuck I just been doing for the last 2 hours. You know what? Let me order this pizza, because I envision eating it, and that's gonna be so much better than how the rest of my day has been so far. See, you inputting your creativity at that point, because at that moment you don't have an assigned output. You don't have work to do. And that is how I won the battle between work-life balance. You got to know to use your creativity. You got to know to have some fucking input. And that's what weak minds don't like about us and the public. Us, the public. You, me, YNet7. You know what I mean? And Pasha, you, the public. That's the names going forward. All right. So we got they, the Gen Pop. So the Gen Pop don't like us because we always got not just any input, we got valuable input. Our input so valuable, they trying to copy our podcast. I don't even call it a podcast, but I'm just tell you, they trying to copy our show. They trying to copy our broadcast and go translate it. Which the irony is, I told the world to do that because that's how I'm changing the world. I don't speak your swag over on Arizona, but the people that can take my information from my video that's out there and deliver it to 400 or 500 people, 5,000 people that follow them, that's how this works. What the missing part is saying, like when you hear me say something like, yo, I was watching Alex Hormozi. I may be pronouncing his name wrong. He defined work as output. It's brilliant. It's clear. It helps me translate to you how to overcome the battle work-life balance, because you guys aren't given any input, which is the opposite of work. The part that's missing is when y'all get these wonderful ideas, the Gen Pop, they don't say, yo, this dude Pasha Paro, he doing his thing. He helping us, level up and shit. Because then what happens is we can rank and file. Because when the Gen Pop try to take it, right, like it's their own ideas, They always fuck it up. It's fucked up. It's not done right. It's watered down. It's diluted, and then it just falls out of existence because they didn't know what they were doing. They were trying to copy what they saw done without having any understanding of the manifestation process or how to actually envision it. So there's no difference between them having the vision right in their mind and not knowing how to envision it. They visioned it on the screen, or they came over your house and was talking to you behind the scenes or whatever, and they got the vision from you, but that still don't mean that they have the ability God given to envision it. This is why our community suffers. Too many people trying to be what they not. Too many people don't know the truth about these people. But when they find out that they purposely held the community back by 10 years. I mean, what happened to the Queen of France when she told them let them eat cake? Because when you think about what a lot of the community leaders have done, they basically said to the rest of Gen Pop, because I want these connections, or because I want this control, as small as it is, or because I want this perceived power, or because I want this perceived fame, I'm going to sacrifice the people. I'm going to let them eat cake. So when the public finds out that their community leaders have been letting them eat cake for 10, 15, 20, 35 years, meanwhile, the people who actually had the ability to envision has been withheld from the community's benefit. When they understand that y'all have been telling them to eat cake, I'm Pasha Pablo. Thank you for tuning. Here's the Cash App. Get the plate around the other side. That's a movie reference. If you know what movie that's from, put it in the comments below and put a donation in the Cash App. Why that 7? We doing it, y'all. We doing it. We got 21% women, 78% males, right? All right. So we got our warriors, we got our scientists, both sides, and we got our nurses there. We got, you know what I mean? We got the community. Okay. We got the public. Now 38% subscribe to y'all, 61%. Let's get some more subscriptions. It's free. It only costs you a time to watch it. Gotta pay attention. All right. Question of the day. If you could create your own adventure story, what would it be about? I'm trying to coach you on having input in your own life. Subscribe, comment, share, and get the plate back around there. Put the Cash App. Cash App, man. Y'all come on now. Doing this for 4 years. You ain't sent me $1. Come on. Give me 25. Pasha 50.